Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Atika and we will present the intermittent fasting diet. Intermittent fasting diet is an old way to get healthier and lose weight. People have done IF for a long time, even in ancient Greece. Many religions also have fasting as part of their practices. In recent years, IF has become popular because it can help with things like metabolism, brain health, and living longer. There are different ways to do IF, like the 68 method or fasting every other day. Many people find IF helpful for improve their overall health. In 1950, studies on intermittent fasting were initiated. Research found that rare experience increased along with time when their food consumption was limited to every other day. In 1945, food rationing during World War II and admittedly led to a form of IF. Studies show that people who consume fewer calories during this time were healthier and live longer. In 1919, scientists began to study IF more closely. Research demonstrated that IF can contribute to weight loss, improve metabolic health, and potentially extend lifespan in animals. Next, in 2012, the publication of the Fast Diet by Dr. Michael Mosley significantly increased the popularity of IF. The book promotes the 5-2 method, where individuals eat normally for 5 days and restrict their calories intake to 500 until 600 calories for 2 days.
Hello, my name is Nur Natasha. I will present how I have become a modern diet trend. We will start with Dr. Jason Fang, a nephrologist and author of the Obesity Code and the Complete Guide to Fasting, advocates of fasting as a tool to combat insulin resistance, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. His practical advice and clear explanation have made him a leading voice in the field. Similarly, British journalist and physician Michael Mosley popularized the 5-2 diet through his BBC documentary, Eat Fast and Live Longer, and his book The Fast Diet, introducing intermittent fasting to a wider audience. Next is a milestone in the trend. Michael Mosley's 2012 book The Fast Diet helped popularize intermittent fasting, offering a simple and flexible approach. The 16-8 method, where fasting lasts 16 hours and meals are consumed within an 8 hours window, became widely embraced. Its ease of use and adaptability made it especially appealing to fitness enthusiasts.
Definition of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a eating plan where you switch between periods of eating and fasting on a set schedule. Studies show that it can help with weight management and may even prevent or improve certain diseases. With intermittent fasting, you eat only during certain times. Study shows that fasting for a few hours each day or having just one meal a few days a week can be good for your health. How to do intermittent fasting? You can follow a daily plan where you eat in a 6 to 8 hour time frame each day. For example, with the 16/8 method, you eat for 8 hours and fast for 16 hours. Another way to try intermittent fasting is the 5:2 plan. You eat normally for 5 days a week, and on the other 2 days, you have just one small meal with 500 to 600 calories. For example, you could eat as usual every day except Monday and Thursday when you eat only one meal.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Nora Karina Kisina binti Muhammad Zahan. Today, I will be explaining about the concept of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting does not specifically dictate the type of foods you should eat during the eating periods. This flexibility means it can accommodate various macronutrient ratios such as low carbon diets, which some people pair intermittent fasting with low carbo or ketogenic eating to enhance fat burning. Meanwhile, high protein diets, which others prioritize protein to preserve muscle mass, especially if weight loss is a goal. And lastly, balanced diets. Many people prefer a mix of carbohydrates, protein, and fats for overall nutrition. What sets intermittent fasting apart is its focus on timing, not the exact nutrients consumed. This makes it a versatile dietary practice that can complement individual practice and lifestyle. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next is how to practice this diet. First is 16-8 method. This method involves fasting for 16 hours a day and restricting eating to an 8-hour window. Most people finish their last meal by 8 p.m. and skip breakfast the next day and eating only at noon. This method is very ideal for beginners. Next is 5-2 diets. This 5-2 diet allows you to eat normally for 5 days a week while restricting calorie intake to around 500 to 600 calories on the other 2 days. These fasting days should be spaced out with at least one non-fasting day in between. And lastly, the eat stop eat method. This method is involve fasting for 24 hours once or twice a week. For example, you might fast from dinner one day to dinner the next day and consuming only water or calorie-free beverages during the fasting period.
Intermittent fasting is a type of eating pattern in which eating and fasting periods alternate on a regular basis. The main idea is to pick specific times to eat and fast rather than choosing which foods to eat. Some common methods of intermittent fasting include time-restricted feeding and alternated day fasting. Time-restricted feeding means eating within a set window of time each day, such as 8 or 12 hours. Alternate day fasting involves fasting every other day, totally or by limiting calories to a specific amount. Intermittent fasting may help with weight loss, lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, improve blood sugar, and a lesser amount age-related disease. While fasting can be beneficial to one's health, it is important to understand that starvation is not the same as fasting. In terms of eating patterns and food choices, intermittent fasting focuses more on when you eat instead of what you eat. It involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting. The goal is not to restrict food types, but to limit the time spent eating, while other diets focus on a particular eating habit or establish daily calorie limits. Second, calorie intake. Intermittent fasting of course inhibits calorie intake because you are eating in a shorter window, which often leads to a reduced number of meals and snacks. This, in turn, can result in an overall calorie deficit if you don't overeat during the eating window. While other calorie-limited diets require monitoring and reducing calories on every day, regardless of the eating window. They focus on reducing calorie intake through portion control, food substitutions, or elimination of certain food groups. Next, in terms of flexibility, intermittent fasting can be more flexible because it does not require to carefully monitor food types or count calories. The focus is on the timing of meals, while other diets might have fewer flexible standards for food selection. For instance, a low-carb diet severely restricts carbohydrate intake, and calorie-restricted diets may require strict portion control. Lastly, food intake during eating window. For intermittent fasting diet, during the eating window, there are no strict limits on types of food, but the most important is not to consume too much food. Many people find they naturally eat less when restricted to a smaller eating window, as hunger levels and eating behaviors adjust over time, while most other diets require to take certain type of food, whether through calorie limits, micronutrient ratios like high protein and low carb, or the exclusions of certain food groups.
How beginners can start the intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a simple way to manage your eating habits and improve your health. If you are new to it, you can try a 12-hour fasting window. For example, finish dinner by 7 p.m. and have breakfast at 7 a.m. Once you are comfortable, you can slowly increase the fasting time to 14 or 16 hours. Next, during the hours you do eat, focus on healthy balanced meal. For example, eat protein like chicken or eggs, carbohydrates like whole grain and veggies, and then healthy fat like nuts and avocados. Try to avoid processed snack and sugary treats because they don't do your body any favors. Is a tip for the daily routine. You can stick to a consistent schedule, drink plenty of water during fasting hour, and aim to finish eating a few hours before the bedtime. Most importantly, listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, it's okay to adjust. Intermittent fasting is all about finding what works for you. Start small, eat well, and take it one step at a time.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Najah binti Ishaq, and now I will discuss about the scientific evidence supporting the benefit of intermittent fasting. So today I will discuss the scientific evidence supporting the benefit of intermittent fasting or IF as a dietary approach. First, research by the University of California, San Diego and the Salk Institute in 2024 has shown that intermittent fasting within an 8 until 10 hours eating window promotes several benefits such as it support weight loss, reduce body fat, and improve blood sugar regulation. So this finding highlight how IF can be an effective tool for improving metabolic health. Next, studies from the Mayo Clinic in 2023 revealed that intermittent fasting help reduce inflammation. So this make it particularly beneficial for managing chronic inflammatory conditions like Alzheimer, arthritis, and stroke. So this underscore IF potential as a long-term strategy for a better health. Lastly, a study from Johns Hopkins Medicine from 2024 demonstrate that intermittent fasting lower fasting glucose and insulin level, which reduce insulin resistance. So this make it a promising approach for individual managing type 2 diabetes. So, in summary, intermittent fasting is supported by robust scientific research. So, we are showing that benefit for weight loss, metabolic health, reducing inflammation, and even managing chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes. So, this evidence position that IF as a powerful dietary tool for improving overall